What is going on, guys? Jack here, and welcome to episode 5 of the Charge to the Top, here with Hereford FC, and today I have for you guys a live commentary against Clarke, who currently sit in 9th. So yeah, hopefully you guys are good, back sooner than we perhaps expected. You will note in the top right, we're towards the end of January now. Of course, the last episode was against Swindon, and that was on the 31st of December, so it has been just under a month, and well, since then, just a handful of games really to talk about, but as you can see, we've been in some really good form, and well, it's been long overdue, because after the 3 defeats in a row, I was kind of panicking, and of course last episode we took on Swindon. It was the kind of game that if we lost, there's kind of a danger it becomes a trend. If you win, you hope that the team can rebound and continue to perform and continue to notch up the wins, which is what we have done off the back of that 4-0 victory last time out. So anyway, as you can see, the first game we had was against Shortwood here. Pretty standard result, to be honest. Jayden Hall getting a hat-trick, though. Not bad for the right winger by any means. 4-0 it finished. A very convincing performance, of course. Jayden Hall, but a bit of a surprise package for us this year. You can see, as a winger, he's very well suited to the role, but playing as a wide midfielder on attack, there's definitely some kind of obvious holes in his game. But despite that, well, you can see here, 7 goals, 11 assists. He's doing pretty well, isn't he? Really can't complain about his contribution, and well, it was a fine performance by him there. Anyway, the next game we had was against Bideford. I asked last episode, or a few episodes ago now, because I mispronounced this place's name. I had 3 different suggestions for how to pronounce it. I mean, no one knows. It's a mystery. But we did beat them. That wasn't a mystery. We were better than them. And as you can see here, looking at the stats, it was Townsend, Forster and Lynch with the goals. But there was an absolute banger in the goals, which we have to look at, because when you score a banger, if you don't show it, then it's just it's not right. And this was one of them. This is the kind of goal that you see go in, and especially at this level in Football Manager, when it goes in, you kind of, you're surprised, you're shocked, you jump up and down on your chair. And, well, I did all of those things when this goal went in, because it was a fantastic strike, and not for the first time this year either, that Townsend has scored a bit of a worldie. So this was the build-up play here. It was a bit of an interesting defensive clearance by the keeper. He parries it upwards, but Townsend on the volley, bang! I mean, not bad, was it? Not bad at all. 3-0 it finished. That was the opening goal. Dan Townsend, man of the match. I feel like they could have just given it to him after that 30th minute goal, to be honest, because that's how good the strike was. Anyway, the next game we had was against Wantage. It finished 3-1, but that really doesn't tell half the story. If we just look at match facts here, we had 11 clear-cut chances and 7 half chances. This game could have been double figures. It probably should have been double figures, and whilst it's not inherently obvious, I guess, looking at the kind of the shots and the possession, that's how the game was played out. I don't know, watching it, the game lasted a good 25 minutes because of all the highlights. And, well, as you can see here, Jake Sinclair got a goal, Lewis Lacey with a goal, and Simmons with a goal as well. Unfortunately, though, we did concede a run of clean sheets lost with that 3-1 defeat. So that was a little bit of a shame. Anyway, in the last game we played, it was against Bishop's Cleeve. It was a good performance. 3-1 it finished again. Second 3-1 win in a row. Jake Sinclair this time getting the man of the match performance. The youngster, he's doing very well this year. However, I'm, of course, increasingly concerned about the fact he doesn't want to renew his contract for next season. So, of course, we are in January. I talked about the fact I was looking to make some transfers. Have I made any? Have I? Hell, no, I haven't. And I've got a little bit of money that I probably should be looking to spend, but I don't necessarily want to waste it for no reason. The only real move of note, I guess, really, in this window was the fact that Luke Beasley has gone out on loan to Coleshill till the end of the season. The 20-year-old, desperate to play first-team football, not going to get it with us, so we've loaned him out. But really, with the exception of that, there's not been a whole lot happening on the transfer front. I've been looking at players. You can see here a load of players scouted. There's a lot of players who I could potentially go in for, and we have got a little bit of money. I rejigged the additional wage budget we got in, and with a few players moving on and stuff, we actually have a little bit of the wage budget kind of remaining, which is nice. As you can see, we're currently spending 3.7k a week. Our committed spending is 3.4k per week. And our wage budget sits at just shy of £4,000, with £5,000 in the kitty for kind of buying any potential players. Anyway, in terms of significant team news, there is one bit of news which is very big, and I couldn't move the player into the under-23s, which I wanted to do until I showed you because I was worried I was going to forget, and that is the fact that Ryan Green, where did King come from? I don't know, but he's out for 4 to 5 months, damaged Achilles tendon. That's his career over. I hate to put it as brutally as that, but at 36 years old, a 4 to 5 month injury for a player who already doesn't have great physicals. His contract's running out at the end of the year. it's over for him. Unfortunately, he won't agree to a mutual termination of his contract because he knows he won't find another club whilst he's injured. The issue I have with Ryan Green really is the fact he's on £250 a week, which is a massive chunk of our wage budget. And well, now he's out for the rest of the season. He was going to be declining anyway as a player, and I wasn't sure if I was going to renew his contract or not. The game's kind of made up my mind for me with that injury. But in terms of team news as a whole, with the exception of that injury, not a lot really to report on injury-wise. It's just been a very good run of results, really. Lots of wins coming in a row. In terms of our team as a whole, you can see the squad is performing very, very well. A few players perhaps kicking up a little bit of a fuss at being unhappy. Jamie Edge expected to play more first-team football. Probably not going to happen for him, the youngster, unfortunately. He's just not performed well enough. A 6.75 or 7.6 average rating in the league. It's just so subpar, I can't really justify playing him. Elsewhere in the team, a few other players are a little bit unhappy. Obviously, Beasley requested a move away. I've loaned him out. He was worried he was never going to be good enough to play for the team. Kind of made sense because that's kind of how I felt about him. The other player who's kicked up a little bit of a fuss is Mason Watkins Clarke. Now, at one point I thought about selling this guy, but the more I look at him, the more I like him. And as a result, we are going to be kind of keeping with him, persevering, hoping that he can put in a good performance for us. And he's a very good player. He's very capable. And I hope that by giving him a bit more first-team football, he might get a little bit more settled into his time here at the club. Anyway, let's get into today's game. As I said, it's going to be against Clarke. It's a big game in the Southern League Division. Looking at the league table and where we stand, we have extended our lead at the top to 5 points, which, I mean, you might expect it to be more after the amount of wins we've had in a row, but unfortunately for us, Salisbury have kind of gone with the attitude of anything you can do, we can do just as well, and over the last kind of 5 or 6 games, they are also unbeaten in the league. Anyway, let's get into this game. As I said, in terms of the team, nothing too crazy going on here. In goal, we go with Stuart. He's been a very good player for us, and coach as well, of course. Since he came in, he's performed well in goal as well. A 7.03 average rating, 6 clean sheets. He's definitely been a step up, unfortunately, on Luke Wakeman, a player who, I don't know, he looks great, but he's not performed fantastically for us, and as a result, he's kind of lost that spot in the first team. Anyway, at left back for today's game, we go with Kane Lewis, the 19-year-old, of course, with tremendous pace, very good going forward, and he's performing very well at the moment as well, too, which is nice. Alongside him, we have Lewis Lacey, the centre-back, a very good player, very good defensively, and he's been performing exceptionally this year. 7.44 average rating in the league for him. As I said already, alongside him, we go with Mason Watkins Clarke, a player who, he doesn't have a ton of pace, he's not a particularly intelligent footballer, but he can defend and he can win stuff in the air, and, well, that is half the battle, I feel like, when it comes to lower league defending and what you require from your lower league defenders in Football Manager. At right back, we go with Charlie Johnson, of course, the player we signed from Haverhill Borough at the start of the season. A 7.54 average rating for him in his last 5 games, been performing superb, the 29-year-old, and as you can see here in the league, a 7.27 average rating, definitely nothing to be scoffed at. Anyway, out on the left-hand side, we have Matty Forster, 2 goals and 2 assists in his last 5, a player in fine form, 7 goals for the season as well, which is a fantastic tally for a man playing out wide. On the other side, of course, we have Jaden Hall, who scored a hat-trick not that long ago. He has 11 goals and 7 assists for the year, so really, you can kind of get an idea of just how important our wingers and our wide men are in this system. They are vital for not only creating goals, but also for scoring them. Anyway, our centre midfield duo, of course, in the centre of the defensive area, we're going to be going with Adrian Clifton, the player we signed from Montserrat. Last episode I talked about him and how big I thought he was as a centre mid on defence. You can kind of see just how good he is at playing this role. He's not had the craziest start to his time at the club, a 6.92 average rating, but at the same time, we've not lost since he started playing, which is kind of, I don't know, the average ratings, I feel like with a centre defensive mid, if their average rating's quite low, it means they're doing their job in terms of the fact they're not having to put in too many tackles, they're not having to cut in too many interceptions. Instead, they're just doing their best to spread around the ball nicely. Anyway, alongside him, we of course have Dan Townsend, the scorer of bangers. He only has 7 long shots and 10 technique, but for whatever reason, he seems to absolutely love just lashing them in from range. And well, who am I to complain? The 26-year-old has been fantastic so far for us this year. Definitely becoming a little bit of a fan favourite for me. And well, you can see here, just a fantastic advanced playmaker too. 13 vision, 12 flair, decent passing too. You really can't complain about that. Up top for today's game, I'm actually going to drop Simmons and play Lynch as the kind of target man on support. In truth, it's not really a role he can play too fantastically. I guess 9 jumping reach isn't too terrible, but it's really his heading and his passing and his strength that kind of let him down a little bit. But at this level, you can kind of afford to make compromises there. Alongside him, we of course are going to go with Jake Sinclair, who has been in fine goal-scoring form, scoring 20 goals in 24 league games, as well as getting 9 assists. That's definitely an important note to remember. On the bench for today's game, we have Jonah Moulton, the centre-back who's been playing very frequently as of late. A 7.34 average rating for him. He's done very, very well when we've called upon him. We also have Purdy, of course, the ideal player to have on the bench at this kind of level, where you can only have the 5 subs. Can play pretty much anywhere on the pitch, but we kind of look at him really as a centre mid and a full-back. You know, he can play a bit of anywhere, but that's where we like to play him. The next player we have is Jacob Cook, the centre mid, a player who, in truth, I kind of feel like should be playing a little bit better than he is, but he's a very well-rounded player. He's only 18, he's got some room to improve, and I'm hoping he can do that when we need to over the next few seasons. The next player we have Dwayne Coultrus, a player who really hasn't had enough opportunities. The winger could play either side. He's come in on a fairly hefty wage, and the reason I brought him in on that hefty wage was because if you look at his attributes as a wide midfielder on attack, he's fairly well suited to the role. The fact he can obviously play either wing is a really nice additional bonus, and especially the fact he can play either naturally, particularly at this level. But we've not really had a need to bring him on. Forster and Jaden Hall have just been performing superbly for us. The last player on the bench we have is Mike Simmons, the target man, really a bit of a plan B. He has 3 goals and 4 assists. So far this season, which in 10 appearances isn't too bad, with one of those coming on off the bench. In terms of players not featuring in the team, I guess Luke Wakeman's a notable one. Ogbu, the youngster, also kind of finding himself slightly out of the reckoning, but at the same time, he's only 17, he wasn't going to be playing every game this year. But other than that, it's kind of the team and the pecking order has kind of established itself now, I feel like, at this point. I'm very happy with the kind of Lynch-Sinclair partnership up top. Townsend as our advanced playmakers kind of nailed down. Jaden Hall and Forster have been playing superbly out wide. And of course, our kind of back 4, Lewis, Lacey, Watkins, Clarke perhaps being the exception, and Johnson, has become more and more settled. And in some ways, the Ryan Green injury has kind of made my decisions a little bit easier when it comes to the centre of the area. Anyway, let's get into today's game. It's against Clarke. It's away from home. They're actually a team who I believe were in kind of 6th place when I said I was going to play them last episode. Since then, they've kind of fallen off the pace just a little bit and currently find themselves in 9th. Although looking at the league table here, you can see it's incredibly close. Clarke in 9th, only 3 points behind Winchester in 5th. So, no, they're going to be a team looking for the win here. They are going to be playing a 4-4-2 as well. Not entirely surprising at this level. A lot of teams just don't have players who can play a variety of positions. In terms of the last time we played Larkhall, I couldn't recall the loss, but apparently we did lose to them. So we do want to set the record straight here. We've got a lovely little British town. Is Larkhall a British town? I'm going to assume it is. Look at it. What a lovely little stadium. Anyway, let's get back onto 2D. Where we belong. I sometimes have people ask why I use 2D. I feel like I address this at least once every series. For people wondering, Jack, why do you use 2D? Personally, I just think it looks a little bit better. I feel like the animations and stuff are still a little bit janky in FM17, but also I like the fact I get a big overview of the pitch. I can see everything that's going on. You know, you can really get a bird's eye view of the action. You can see exactly how your team shapes up across the entire pitch during build-up play, during defending. Whereas when you're using the close camera, the TV camera, anything like that, it's sometimes difficult to work out where every single one of your players is and kind of where things are going wrong. With this top-down view, I don't know, it feels a little bit more kind of tactical in terms of what I can see. And, well, can we see a goal? We can't, although, is that a penalty? I think it is. Isaac committing the foul right on the edge of the box. I don't know if David Lynch would have been through there. It's going to be Lewis Lacey to step up. And, well, hopefully the number 5, the centre-back, can score for us. Of course, Purdy, our traditional kind of penalty taker, not on the pitch. Lewis is going to step up, though. The number 5, can he put us in the lead here against Larkhall? He steps up. He smashes it down the middle. Not ideal. Patterson's terrible first touch does mean it goes out for a corner, but Lewis Lacey going to be kicking himself. I'm wondering, why is he on penalties? Did I forget to set my penalty takers ages ago? Oh, he has 11 penalty taken. Okay, I'm not completely crazy. 11 penalty taken, 11 composure, 6 finishing. Like, it's not that terrible. I feel like I had to check that because I feel like if I didn't, someone would be like, why is your centre-back taking penalties? He's not a bad penalty taker, okay? He's missed one. And, well, hopefully we're not going to regret that, because that would be problematic. We are the team who, at least early on, have been in control. 31st minute, we're on the attack again. Clifton from Montserrat to Lynch. David Lynch. What a build-up play that is. The cheeky one too. The keeper with a nice little save, but that was a clear-cut chance for us. David Lynch perhaps should have done a little bit better. Had more time than perhaps he suspected to get in. And, well, perhaps took the ball past the keeper from a bit more of a more favourable angle. But unfortunately, just didn't work out for us there. And, well, 40 minutes gone. We've had the chances to be in the lead here, but it looks like as the time ticks away here in the first half, it's going to be increasingly unlikely that we go in, at least at half-time, as the victors here. They've got a few bookings, which is worth noting. We've got, I guess, Clifton on a booking too. The game itself has been very 50-50. We've struggled to get possession, but we've not had any half chances against us. But they're on the attack here, and, well, we've had chances to go ahead, and, well, with 20 seconds left of the half, Jack Allwood steps up and scores for Clarke. And with their first real half chance of the game, their second shot on target, they find the back of the net, a big ball pumped into the box. Shocking defending, marking-wise. Keeper perhaps should do a little bit better. Wasn't a lot of power on the header. But unfortunately for us, we are going to find ourselves a goal down here, and, well, it's just a little bit shocking, I think it's fair to say. Going to tell the players to show me something else in the second half. David Lynch has performed pretty poorly, so I'm actually going to bring on Simmons immediately. I'm a little bit concerned about Adrian Clifton on the bench. Oh, sorry, not on the bench, on the kind of defensive midfielder role on a booking. That's, I don't know, that's somewhat of a concern. We'll have to keep an eye on that. I obviously don't want to get a man lost in this kind of game where we're chasing. But no, we'll see how we get on here. John Hull, he definitely, he teleported. He is a wizard in goal for them. Everyone saw that, right? He is actually a wizard. But either way, it's 1-0. We need to fight back. Then we've got a half to do it. In the first half, we were the better team initially, but we kind of got figured out. And that's somewhat of a concern for me. In terms of the team, as you'll see, the 4-4-2 hasn't seen too many drastic changes. I have been toying with the fullbacks on attack and on support and trying to work out which I prefer. With us now chasing this game, I feel like it's kind of inevitable that we are going to need to just push a few more men forward, play the target man on attack, send the fullbacks looking for the overlap a little bit more. It's going to leave us exposed at the back, but at the same time, we kind of have to do it. I'm also going to put on a look for overlap to hopefully further benefit our fullbacks looking in the wide areas to give Clarke something more to worry about. But while time is ticking away here, I'm going to bring on Dwayne Coulters. I'm going to take off Forster, who's really not had a great day at the office. I think Clifton also probably has to come off, and we'll bring on Rob Purdy for him. So we're going to use all our subs now. 18 minutes left for this game to be turned around. In truth, Clarke probably deserved leaders based off this second half. We've been unable to create anything. They've had a few more shots. They've had more of the ball. But, well, it's not over till the fat lady sings, and, well, she might be singing fairly soon because it's getting a little bit tight. We're going to go to more direct. We've kind of got to, at this point, a little bit more hoofball-y. I guess I should also put on pump ball into box. I'm not going to, though. In fact, yeah, let's do it. We kind of have to at this point. Hit early crosses, pump the ball in. Let's just try and get Simmons in the box, get the ball on his head if we can. It's been a pretty dull game, in truth. A lot of chances early on, but in this second half, this all kind of just dried up. And unfortunately for us, with 30 seconds left, unless we're going to get a very, very late goal, this game is going to be over. And, well, the winning run is going to come to a crushing end. A very narrow defeat away from home. But a defeat nevertheless, and, well, we'll have to hope that Salisbury have bottled their game, because if they win, they will close the gap between ourselves and them to just 2 measly points. And, well, that leaves me with a little bit of a concern there. As you can see, Salisbury, they actually drew, so that's kind of fortunate. We keep the kind of more than a game gap. They were actually playing Swindon, who have, as you can see here, now dropped down to 4th with Taunton taking their spot. But, no, it was an okay performance, I guess. A defeat's annoying, but I don't feel like we were completely outmatched. And in the last few games where we have had defeats, the opposition team have scored 3 or 4 goals. You know, it's really been a bit of a blowout. So for us to have a defeat that's 1-0, it's disappointing, but we did have the chances to win. We didn't actually have that many chances against us. It was just one set piece which found its way into the back of the net. At the same time, obviously disappointing to lose the fine run that we've been on. In terms of when we'll be back, Taunton and Salisbury now looks like a tempting double commentary. There are only 3 games away, but we could do both of those. That'll be against the team in third and the team in second. I think that's what we'll do, because those 2 games could very much shape up how we kind of look going into the end of the season, because, well, following those games, there's only 8 games left of the year. So yeah, next episode, double header against Taunton and Salisbury. Hopefully we can get some good performances. Hopefully I of course, see you guys for that episode. If you have enjoyed, as always, smash the like button. If you've got any comments, leave them down below. And other than that, this is me, Jack, and I will talk to you guys in a bit. I'm out.